What is going on, Laker fans? Appreciate you guys tuning in. August 24th, 8/24, Mamba Day. Appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Got a couple topics that I want to get into. Hope you guys are having a good Thursday. Um, Two things I want to get into in today's show. So I appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Number one, we got official word today that the Kobe statue is coming. So I want to spend a little bit of time on that. And number two, article that I just kind of came across in the last hour or so. Dillon Brooks clearly has not learned or corrected some of his mistakes or any of those types of things. So I want to get into Dillon Brooks, who was talking about that series, Lakers and the Grizzlies, and he had some words about that series and his matchup with LeBron James. So we'll get into that as well. Appreciate everybody being a part of the show. If you're a Laker fan, NBA fan, whatever it is, whoever you support, I appreciate you guys being on the show. If you can please do me a favor and please subscribe to the channel, I'd greatly appreciate that. And I'll continue to put up as much content as possible. Anytime I think there's some good NBA Lakers content that you guys would be interested in, I'm going to throw it up here. So appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Earlier this morning, we got news that the Lakers will unveil Kobe Bryant's statue outside of Crypto.com Arena. And actually, this was news to me. I thought there was some reports, I thought over the last couple of weeks, that they would do it a year from today, which is 8/24, or no, yeah, 8/24/24, that they would do it a year from today, that Kobe would be getting his statue outside of Crypto.com Arena. That is not the case. There was an announcement this morning. It was a video posted to the Lakers' social media accounts at 8:24 a.m. And it was Vanessa Bryant, obviously the wife of the late, great Kobe Bryant, the mother of Gianna Bryant, who also passed away, and all the other 7 other victims that were a part of the terrible helicopter crash back in January of 2020 out in Calabasas. Vanessa Bryant puts out a video and makes the announcement. I'm going to read a couple things here from the quote, and this will be specific to what day the Lakers are going to put out the statue of Kobe Bryant. So she said, "On behalf of the Lakers, my daughters, and me, I'm so honored that right here in the center of LA, in front of the place known as the house that Kobe built, we are going to unveil his statue so that his legacy can be celebrated forever." That was Vanessa Bryant. And it was announced that it's going to be February 8th. So 2/8/24. The 2 representing Gigi, the 8 representing Kobe, the 24 obviously representing Kobe as well. 2/8/24. The Los Angeles Lakers. I'm sure AEG will be involved, who owns that whole area of LA Live. Will put together some type of statue that will, it sounds like, represent Kobe and represent Gigi. If you guys know, obviously right now, what is out there in front of Crypto.com Arena, it's been kind of one of the cooler things that any of these sporting venues have done is they honor certain players. And for the Lakers perspective, Shaq's out there, Kareem's out there, Magic's out there, Jerry West is out there, Elgin Baylor's out there, and of course, the great broadcaster Chick Hearn is out there as well. So the question was never, hey, is Kobe going to get a statue? Of course he is. The question was just going to be, when is it going to happen? So we know the date now. If you ever been to Crypto.com Arena, you know that there's a couple other, Luke Robitaille of the Kings, Wayne Gretzky, Oscar De La Hoya is also out there. So you got a few different people that are out there, legends that have some type of tie or connection to the local teams out here into LA, or in LA, but specifically at Crypto.com Arena, either the Los Angeles Kings, the Los Angeles Lakers, or obviously the boxer and Oscar De La Hoya. Kobe is going to be out there, and I will say this. I have no idea what the plan is. I was saying this on my radio show earlier today. I was talking a little bit about how I think this is going to be one of the more special moments for Los Angeles. And I think it's going to be, without me knowing what exactly the details are, what the Lakers are going to do. I'm sure Vanessa Bryant's going to have a ton of input. The Bryant family will have a ton of input. however they want to remember Kobe, Gigi, however they want to remember them, I just got to imagine it's going to be something kind of beyond our imagination. That it's going to be something truly, truly special that I wouldn't be surprised that you got people that travel to LA and whether they're going to a game or not say, hey, I want to go by crypto.com arena because I want to go see that statue. I want to go see this kind of landmark in Los Angeles. Look, there's nothing to sugarcoat here. Think about it. Kobe Bryant was not arguably only the most popular player in Los Angeles history when it comes to sports. He was an international icon. He was only a few years removed from his NBA playing career. He was a champion. He was doing things off the court. He had a beautiful family. And unfortunately, his life ended so tragically, so suddenly, so surprisingly with his daughter, and obviously everybody else that passed away on that day. Um, I got to imagine that it's going to be something incredibly special that they're going to come up with to have outside crypto.com arena. And I don't think I'm being dramatic when people say there's going to be people that come to town and maybe they've never been to LA before. Maybe they're coming to their first Lakers game. Maybe this, maybe that, whatever it is. I think there's going to be a lot of people that say, hey, I want to make sure I stop by there so I could see that and take a picture with it or just see it for myself, something along those lines. That's how big of a deal I think it's going to be, and that's how special I think it's going to be. So the date is set, like I mentioned, February 8th, 2024. So we're, what is that, 6 months out, something along those lines. And they'll be unveiling this pretty special statue outside of a crypto.com arena. I do know this as well, that the Lakers are set to play the Denver Nuggets that day. It's all going to happen before the game starts. There are a couple quotes here. I'll read them just so you guys have it. They sent a press release out on all this as well. The ceremony will be held outside the arena and is the first in a series of physical tributes to honor Bryant's legacy. So it sounds like it's not going to be one thing that represents Kobe. Again, I'll read it again. The ceremony will be held outside the arena and is the first in a series of physical tributes to honor Bryant's legacy. So do with that what you may, but it sounds like there's going to be a lot going on around Kobe, and it might just not be this statue. Jeannie Buss, owner of the Lakers. Kobe Bryant was one of the most extraordinary athletes of all time and one of the most iconic individuals in the history of Los Angeles. There is no better place for Kobe to be honored with a statue than here at the center of our city, where everyone can celebrate him and be inspired by his incredible achievements. Rob Pelinka went on to say, we'll now have a physical presence at a place on the hallowed ground Kobe created where we can all gather to pay honor to a mighty and great man. So, Lakers, Nuggets, February 8th, 2024. Big time day for the Los Angeles Lakers, for a lot of residents out here in LA and all those that respected and appreciated what Kobe Bryant brought to the table, and they'll do their best to show their love to Kobe. That's the first thing that I wanted to kind of get into, and I know that's more just kind of passing out news, but that news came out today, and it did kind of surprise me a little bit because, like I said earlier, me personally, I thought it was going to be on 8/4 or 8/24/24, but this actually makes more sense. 2/8/24 is when they're going to do it, so only a few months away. So if you guys remember, this is my title to the story. Dillon Brooks has clearly not learned anything. If you guys remember, Lakers and the Memphis Grizzlies. First round of the playoffs. I think I don't know how you guys felt going into that series, but I definitely had this might be a problem. And it might be a problem because the Memphis Grizzlies are so young. And the Los Angeles Lakers already used so much of their energy just to get this far. And this is the first round of the playoffs, and it's the number 2 seed versus the number 7 seed. And The Memphis Grizzlies, I think, had won 50 games, 51 games, something along those lines. They had been playing some good basketball, but things weren't perfect for the Memphis Grizzlies. And you kind of felt like, all right, they got some injuries. We knew, if you guys remember, let me see who was out. Brandon Clark was out. Steven Adams was out. They had some two big pieces there that are a big part of their success and kind of how they play the game of basketball. And it's the style that they play. Two big pieces that were out in that series. Then you had Ja Morant have his injuries. And it kind of felt like, hey, you know what? The Lakers could probably win the series. That you're facing the Memphis Grizzlies, definitely not at 100%. And maybe there's an opportunity to beat the Memphis Grizzlies. So I remember as that series started, Dillon Brooks started running his mouth. And listen, I don't mind guys running their mouths. I really, really don't mind guys running their mouths. I think if you can back it up and if it's all kind of a mind game or it's all in good fun, it's all good. No problem. I'm not a fan of taking things personal or making things personal, but Dillon Brooks' strategy really confused me. So if Dillon Brooks was kind of trying to play mind games or if Dillon Brooks was trying to get under the skin of the Lakers, I just don't think it was a good strategic plan. All right. So if you guys remember, and there's a quote that came out in the last, I don't know, maybe the last couple of hours, last 24 hours, where Dillon Brooks is talking about LeBron. So this is why I'm going to this. Dillon Brooks was sitting down for an interview. He's now with the Houston Rockets of Sportsnet on Sportsnet. So I'm sure maybe Sportsnet is what is the Houston Rockets. Maybe they have Sportsnet. It carries the Spectrum deal, whatever it is. He said, I feel like I always had him, talking about LeBron James. I feel like that series was thrown upon me because of the words that I say, but I've been saying things all year and we won 50 games. So I'm trying to kind of understand what he's talking about. I feel like I always had him. Okay, let's get into some of the numbers here. If Dillon Brooks feels like he always had LeBron. By the way, this is Dillon Brooks saying he wants to poke the bear. This is Dillon Brooks calling LeBron old. This is Dillon Brooks at one point getting ejected during the series for hitting LeBron in the groin. I had a very difficult time trying to understand Dillon Brooks. Why are you trying to get under the skin of LeBron James? It's LeBron. He's been in the league for 20 years. He's seen it all. That's not the guy that you need to try to get under the skin of. And oh, by the way, you got all these other players that play with him that respect the hell out of him and are probably going to do everything they can to have his back. Doesn't sound like a good strategy. I mean, if I'm grabbing a mic and I'm about to go up against LeBron James, I'm finding every way to compliment him. Man, he's just, I mean, this career has been unbelievable. How is this guy still at this level at age 20 or in his year 20? You know what? This guy should have 10 MVPs. I'm surprised the guy doesn't have 10 NBA championships. I'm finding every single way to make LeBron James feel warm about me and not be angry about me. But let's go back to what Dillon Brooks said. I feel like I always had him. Anybody else watch the series? LeBron averaged 22 points and 11 rebounds in the series. How about this crazy stat? Every time Dillon Brooks guarded LeBron James, LeBron shot 61% from the field, according to NBA.com tracking. They track, okay, how is this guy shoot overall percentage? How about when he's guarded by this player and that player and this player? LeBron shot 61% from the field when Dillon Brooks guarded him. Okay. Let's get into a couple more stats. All right, maybe Dillon Brooks was just having a bad time on defense, but did Dillon Brooks come through on offense? Here's his stats. Dillon Brooks, game 1, 5 of 13, 2 of 9 from 3. Game 2, 5 of 14, 2 of 6 from 3. Game 3, 3 of 13, 1 of 5 from 3. Game 4, 4 of 11, 1 of 7 from 3. Game 5, he really came through in game 5. 3 of 15, 2 of 10 from 3. And then in the final game, where the Lakers won, I believe, by 40, which is a little ironic because at one point Dillon Brooks said, I don't respect anybody until they drop 40 on me. Well, what if your team loses by 40? Game 6, Dillon Brooks, 4 of 11 from the field, 2 of 5 from the three-point line. Dillon Brooks was so bad in the series against the Lakers. He couldn't get a stop on defense against LeBron James, and he was awful on offense for the Memphis Grizzlies and shot just awful, awful from the three-point line. I'm going to go back to what I said earlier, and this is the portion that confuses me. Why are you picking LeBron James to run your mouth on? And clearly, it was a poor decision, and it clearly didn't work. The only quote that I think we should be hearing from Dillon Brooks is, yeah, it probably wasn't the best strategy. I shouldn't have done it. I've done that before in my career, and sometimes it's worked for me. And you know what? You got to learn from your mistakes. Hey, hats off to LeBron James. He did what he did. I'm with a new team now. I signed with the Houston Rockets. I look forward to going up against the Lakers again, and I'm going to do everything I can to try to get some W's for this Rockets team. Instead, he said, I feel like I always had him. I feel like that series was thrown upon me because of the words that I say, but I've been saying things all year and we won 50 games. They're thrown on you because it's the playoffs and you're talking about one of the greatest to ever do it and you couldn't back up your words. That's why it's thrown on you. So I don't know how you guys feel about Dillon Brooks and his comments, but I mean, give the man his credit. He got paid. Guy got 4 years, $86 million with the Houston Rockets. I think right now he's playing for Canada or something like that. I think in the FIBA World Game. So, nonetheless, his comments just make absolutely no sense to me and sound incredibly idiotic and lost. But that's Dillon Brooks, and go get your money, buddy. But I don't know what you're talking about from a basketball perspective. Laker fans, NBA fans, that's all I got for today. Just wanted to make sure I got a couple of those topics in. I like both of those stories. Kobe statue is coming next year, February 8th, 2024. Dillon Brooks is confusing the living hell out of me. I have no idea what he's talking about. Any thoughts, comments below? If you can subscribe to the channel, means a lot. Thank you for being a part of the show, and hope you guys have a good rest of your Thursday. Thanks, Laker fans.